Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Rescue efforts are underway in Taiwan after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the island's eastern coast, killing at least 9 people and injuring more than 800. Incredible footage of landslides shows the power and extent of the quake. Here a man floating helplessly as water in the swimming pool he's in becomes a stormy sea. Some 127 people are trapped in collapsed tunnels and on mountainous roads along the rugged coastline. The epicenter was 18 kilometers south of Hualien city, but strong tremors were felt all the way to the capital, Taipei, more than 100 kilometers away. The strongest quake to hit Taiwan in 25 years caused the most damage in Hualien, where buildings fell, roads were blocked and train lines disrupted, leaving the remote region even more cut off from the rest of Taiwan. It also triggered tsunami alerts earlier in the day in nearby Japanese and Philippine islands. 3 British nationals who were among 7 aid workers killed in an Israeli strike in Gaza have been named. John Chapman, James Henderson and James Kirby were all working alongside WCK as security and safety advisors. Pressure is mounting on Israel after the 7 people working for the charity World Central Kitchen were killed. The head of the Israeli military says the strike was a grave mistake that occurred due to misidentification in very complex circumstances. In a tribute, the family of James Kirby say they are utterly heartbroken and he'll be remembered as a hero. John Chapman's family say they are devastated over his death. Tens of thousands of people have fled the Haitian capital Port-au-Prince to escape a surge in gang violence over the past weeks. United Nations figures suggest more than 53,000 left between the 8th and the 27th of March. The UN is warning that the rural regions to which many have fled are not equipped to deal with such a large influx of displaced people. Meanwhile, gangs are attacking businesses in the capital, torching pharmacies and vandalizing schools. Flags have been flying at half-mast across Finland after a boy was killed and 2 girls seriously wounded in a shooting at a school. The shooting took place in a classroom at Vietola School in Vantaa, to the north of the capital Helsinki. Police said all 3 victims were 12 and that a suspect, also aged 12, had fled after the shooting but was later detained. One of the wounded girls has dual Finnish-Kosovan nationality. The Interior Ministry said all public buildings lowered their flags on Wednesday to mark a day of mourning. Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa has declared a national disaster to tackle the prolonged drought crisis.
My dear Zimbabweans, the foregoing situation of the climate change-induced drought.
Mr. Mnangagwa said the country needs $2 billion to tackle hunger caused by low rainfall, which has wiped out about half of the maize crop. The grain shortage has pushed up food prices and an estimated 2.7 million people will face hunger. Neighbouring Zambia and Malawi have also declared states of disasters due to drought recently. The price of oil has climbed following a Ukrainian drone strike on Russia's 3rd largest refinery. The attack on the Taneko facility in the province of Tatarstan appears to have been Kyiv's deepest strike inside Russian territory since the invasion of Ukraine more than 2 years ago. The strike started a fire which took around 20 minutes to extinguish. No major damage to the site or injuries were reported. However, it was enough to trigger concern from investors, helping to push the cost of Brent crude above $89 a barrel, its highest level in 6 months. And finally, video of an 8-year-old girl watching television from a gravity-defying perch in the living room has gone viral on Chinese social media. Known as Spider Girl, her superpowers have amazed many Chinese netizens. Her mother says her daughter has always been a daredevil, adding that her skills were only discovered by reviewing home surveillance footage. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.